Things are heating up between the United States and the Iranian regime over Iran's nuclear weapons program. Threats have been flying back and forth, and many speculate that the nation of Israel could attack Iran very soon. What's happening? I'm Josiah Hilton, and this is the Israel Guys. Before we get into today's show, I'd like to say happy Passover to all who are celebrating in Israel and around the world. The biblical festival of Passover is all about remembering the exodus of the children of Israel from slavery in Egypt and recognizing God's mighty hand of salvation in bringing Israel out of Egypt with many signs and wonders. This Passover, we are seeing God's salvation for his people Israel once again, and accompanied with many signs and wonders. Israel has been attacked on so many fronts in the last year and a half that it is nothing short of the hand of God that the nation of Israel still exists, much less winning on all fronts. The United States, under the Trump administration, is having quite the showdown with Iran over its nuclear program. Last week, President Trump threatened to strike Iran's nuclear facilities if they did not come to the negotiating table. When asked whether Israel or the U.S. would strike Iran, Trump said that Israel would probably lead it with American backing. Since then, the Trump administration has been conducting indirect negotiations with the Iranian regime. Just on Saturday, the Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araqi and the U.S. Middle East envoy Steve Witkoff held brief talks. The nearly 2-hour session of talks was mediated by Oman, with the U.S. delegation and the Iranian delegation in two separate rooms. So not a direct negotiation, an indirect negotiation mediated by Oman. The negotiation, according to the Times of Israel, marks the highest level Iran-U.S. nuclear negotiation since the collapse of the 2015 accord. The Iranian Foreign Ministry said yesterday that the next round of talks with the United States, which are set for next weekend, will remain indirect with Omani mediation and focused solely on the nuclear issue and lifting of sanctions. So it seems that the Trump administration was satisfied with how the talks went in Oman, and now the next round of talks is scheduled for April 19th, this next weekend, in the city of Rome. Israeli officials are saying that Steve Witkoff, Special Envoy Steve Witkoff, has briefed the Israeli Strategic Affairs Minister Ron Dermer on the talks. And also they report that Israel is very wary of supporting a U.S. deal with Iran. Now, Israel has very good reason to be cautious about negotiating with Iran. Iran never stuck to their side of the agreement of the 2015 agreement between the U.S. and Iran and continued to race toward the creation of a nuclear bomb. Israel has also been attacked twice in the last 12 months by ballistic missile barrages directly from Iranian soil. Israel knows that Iran wants to wipe them off the map, so they are watching Iran very, very closely. The question is, how long will it be before Israel actually strikes Iran's nuclear facilities? Will they wait for America? It remains to be seen. But my personal opinion is that it won't be too long before Israel eliminates the Iranian nuclear threat. The former NSC director, Michael Allen, has some similar thoughts on the issue. On Fox News last night, he said this.
Ultimately, if President Trump goes up with a deal, he's got to be profoundly skeptical throughout the deal itself. We've got to have good intelligence. We have to have our allies lined up to be able to watch and stare persistently at the Iranians. But look, I don't know that the Israelis are going to feel comfortable regardless. I think that the theater is set for them to make a strike sometime this year. And honestly, I think that's where it's headed.
So yesterday, when asked about direct U.S. talks with Iran, President Trump said that he expects to make a decision very soon. We'll be right back in just 1 second, but first, upgrade your kitchen this Passover season with the finest olive oil, spices, honey, and more from Israel. You can also enjoy a delicious snack of locust. Once a plague in Egypt, now a tasty, protein-packed treat. Find all these products and more at blessedbyisrael.com. On top of the wonderful products, your purchases from Blessed by Israel go towards strengthening the small family businesses of Israel's heartland. Now more than ever, as Israel goes through difficult times, your support makes a big difference. So head over to blessedbyisrael.com to enjoy the best of Israel. Olive oil, coffee, tea, tahini, ceramics, and much more. Use the code Passover and save 10% for the next 2 weeks only on your next order at Blessed by Israel. The link is in the description below. Use code Passover to get 10% off your order. The IDF has just conducted a precise, targeted strike on Hamas facilities that were located in the Al-Ahli hospital in the Gaza Strip. Now, the Al-Ahli hospital should ring a bell for many people because this is the same hospital that the media told a huge lie about in the beginning of the war. So on October 17th of 2023, just 10 days after Hamas attacked Israel on October 7th, an explosion took place at the Al-Ahli hospital in Gaza. Hamas immediately claimed that Israel had struck the hospital and that 500 Palestinians were killed. The media pounced on this information and headlines went out all over the world. Within minutes, the international community was condemning Israel for war crimes. The problem is that all this was proven to be a complete lie. Israel did not strike the hospital. The explosion was from a Hamas or Palestinian Islamic Jihad rocket that was launched from Gaza at Israeli civilians, but failed to make it out of the Gaza Strip and fell into the courtyard of the hospital. The hospital itself wasn't even damaged. And because of this fact, thankfully 500 people were not killed, only a few dozen. Now, no human rights organization came out and condemned Hamas for firing this rocket at Israeli civilians. No human rights organization came out and condemned Hamas for hitting a hospital and killing their own people. Why? Because these so-called human rights groups are not allowed to condemn Hamas or the Palestinians, only Israel. So yesterday, the IDF actually did conduct a strike on the hospital. And again, the question is why? Well, Hamas was actively using that hospital as a command center for their terrorist activities. The IDF said in a statement, the Hamas terrorist organization systematically violates international law while using civilian infrastructure, brutally exploiting the civilian population as human shields for its terrorist activities. So Israel did strike the Hamas command center, which was located inside of the hospital compound. But first, before they conducted this airstrike, they issued evacuation warnings to all the civilians inside. Not one person was killed in the strike. The IDF declared that they took extensive steps to mitigate harm to civilians, including using precise munitions and aerial surveillance. Now, the Baptist Church of Jerusalem has already condemned Israel for this strike, saying, quote, "We call upon all governments and people of goodwill to intervene to stop all kinds of attacks on medical and humanitarian institutions." Again, where's the condemnation of Hamas for using a civilian hospital for a terrorist base? Now, I'm guessing that the IDF has known for a long time that Hamas has been using the hospital for a command center, but has probably refrained from hitting it due to the backlash that they would receive from the hypocritical international community. In a statement Sunday afternoon, the IDF said that it carried out over 90 strikes in the past 48 hours, including a Hamas command center in the area of Gaza City, the neighborhoods of Daraj and Tufa. The site included a weapons depot used to store explosives that Hamas operatives used in attacks on the troops. Guys, that's all for today. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to check out Blessed by Israel and some more support small family businesses in Israel. The link is in the description below. Subscribe, get the conversation going down in the comments below. We love interacting with you down there. And if you'd like to support the work here at the Israel Guys, head over to theisraelguys.com/donate. As always, stop listening to the lies and propaganda, especially when Hamas puts them out, and connect with the truth of what is happening here in Israel. We'll be back soon here at the Israel Guys.